started, I want you to look at this two picture, and you're gonna say, "Eurasian tiger is just another one of your conspiracy theories." No, it's not. This is a picture of a couple that lives in a tiny like shack in Siberia. Siberia, you know, Siberia, the place where the Russians used to send people to die. You know, the Soviets used to send them up to Siberia to die. You know, it's like you either learn to eat the person that you had sent with you, or you die. So they live in like a tiny little house. Their house has like corrugated roofing. You know, they're like burning newspapers to survive. And of course, there's a lot of marriages between Chinese and Russians on the border there in Siberia. And I actually met a guy years ago who leaned over when I was eating in a tiny little crap restaurant in China, and he leaned over. He said, "You're Russian, right?" Anyways, so this is the Chinese father, and this is the Russian mother. And here you can see the little girl's face. Look how happy she looks. Now here's a couple. Here's a picture of that was taken in. I think this is in Manhattan. It's either Manhattan or Brooklyn. It's in front of a brownstone. Those brownstones, they go for like $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 million a piece. And here's the writer, Deanna Fay. She's a writer. I don't know what she writes. She writes something. She's married to a white guy. This is her daughter. Look at the daughter's face. Deanna Fay wrote a book, wrote an article once about how she went to a Jeremy Lin game with her husband and her son. And then these guys standing behind her started calling Jeremy Lin a chink and ching chong. And then her husband's like, "Well, my son is Chinese," because her son looks 100% Chinese. And her husband's like, "Well, what are we going to do about our son?" So there's not a conspiracy theory. I want you to look at these two faces, and I want to tell you, consider that before I get into the next part of this video. Here's another picture of a couple. I don't know when this picture was taken, like 1880, 1910. Asian male, white female couple. Look how happy this girl is. This is 1910. 1910, man. Alright? This is when like nerve gas was a thing. Okay, this was when people had like a 50% infant mortality rate. You know? This was like before indoor plumbing. Look how happy she is. So with that in mind, let's continue on. I sound a little kind of extreme, but I made a video about a year ago about what Asian male, non-Asian female couples can do to raise their children. And I'm going to provide you with a very, very short piece of advice. And this is not an exaggeration. I'm telling you genuinely what I wish that I had in my life growing up. And, you know, I oftentimes fantasize about having an Asian father and a white mother. And some of my cousins are Asian guys who used to date white girls, and I thought they were such sweet, sweet guys, and I was always super jealous of them. And again, 5 out of 6 of the women in my family were with white male partners. White only. White. Mayonnaise. Clouds. Bunny rabbits. White. I'm talking white. I'm talking about marble white. Egg whites. Okay? These guys were whiter than white, if that's even possible. But what about the Asian guys that date white women, they date Latina women, what they date black women? So what is the advice for them? Since a lot of, unfortunately, because of this hop of shit now, a lot of non-Asian women married to Asian men are getting caught up in this. And so, of course, naturally, I do feel bad for getting them involved with this. And I have one simple word. Well, excuse me, it's not. Let me think. 5 words. 5 words for any non-Asian mother who has an Asian partner who she loves and have Asian children. Keep yourself. Well, that's more than 5 words. So, excuse me. Keep away from white man, Asian female couples. WMAF couples. Keep away from them. Stay away from WMAF couples. That's my advice. Stay away from them. And you're going to say, "Oh, Eurasian tiger, that's so extreme." But let me explain why. When Asian males date out, they date anybody. They date black women, Latina women, white women. In fact, I would say that they're more open to dating Latina women or black women. Here's a picture of Jean Aiko. Jean Aiko, the music star, R&B star. Her grandfather was Chinese and her mother Japanese, and her grandmother was black. So whenever Asian women date out, what do they say? They say, "Oh, we want the Caucasian only. Caucasian only. Why only?" Okay? So that says everything that you need to know about these couples, fundamentally from their dating preferences. Now, because Asian women are so world famous for having white fever, and it's white fever. They're so well known for wanting to escape being Asian and wanting to have status and wanting to feel like they're more beautiful than white women or black women or Latino women. They'll go for, naturally in their mind, they'll go for the white man, because they feel like, well, if the white man feel I'm beautiful, then I must be more beautiful than a white woman. But we all know that's not true. So if they're in their mind, white women are the most beautiful, then exactly what kind of white guy is going for Asian women? And they all know this. They all know that the only white men who go for Asian women, including my father, including all of the white men in my family who went for Asian women, are losers. Every single one of them has mental problems. They're losers who see Asian women as a key to finding partnership, having sex, having a so-called traditional family when they can't get it within their own culture. Period. I don't care how many people are going to disagree with this. This is fundamentally true. All right? So if you are the lover or the wife or the girlfriend of an Asian man, stay away from white man, Asian women couples. Keep your children away from them. Do it. I swear to God, this is what you have to do. You have to keep your children away from these couples. Because for some reason, these weird ass white guys who go for Asian women, a lot of them feel very, very resentful of white women for rejecting them. So they go for Asian women. Guys like Ryan Boundless, they go for Asian women because they feel like, well, I have nothing else going on in this world other than I'm white, and so an Asian woman will go for me. And so that's why so many racists and neo-Nazis and alt-right and overall just general yellow fever losers, weirdos, creeps who go for Asian women. Okay, and the Asian women know this, so they say, well, it's yellow fever. It's all about yellow fever. All the white guys have yellow fever, okay? All these white guys have yellow fever. It's not my fault. But the yellow fever, the term yellow fever was invented to create a kind of name for the weird nature of the white guys who like Asian women exclusively. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, she's pretty, I want to date her because she's Asian. But there are the guys who date Asian women exclusively. And Asian women are paranoid about this because they know they're not as beautiful. So when when a white guy goes for an Asian woman, she has this kind of block. She's like, well, I'm afraid that he's going to have yellow fever. And even if they so-called can get a decent-looking white guy like my father, it turns out 9 out of 10 times the guy's weird. He has mental problems. So what does that have to do with Asian male, white female couples, or Asian male, Latino female couples, or Asian male, black female couples? Because Asian women are so insecure, what they do is that's why they're always so hostile. They're so passive aggressive. They're angry. Even when they're with the white husbands, the white guys always complain, and they do it on these message boards, like Japanese message boards. They say, well, my Asian wife, she's constantly screaming, she's constantly hitting me, beating me, she's beating our children. It's because these women feel very resentful that even though they're married to a white guy, they're still not getting the status and the lifestyle they want, because white man, Asian female has such a stereotype and a stigma at this point that essentially these couples always wind up having no friends. They wind up having no friends. They wind up having even lower status than what they had originally gone out for. They had originally thought they were going to get. You see what I'm saying? So that's why there's so many cases of white man, Asian woman couples, especially the white men, and sometimes the Asian woman harassing Asian male, white woman couples. They're like sending them meals saying like, ew, how could you date an Asian guy? But when a white woman dates an Asian guy, she generally wants a guy who's decent looking, kind. She likes him for having a nice personality. Even the worst Asian male, white woman couples, like Alara Christine, the one who I made a video about, where she's this alt-right girl, even she admits that her boyfriend has a great personality and the Asian males have a great personality. But when Asian women go for white men, they go for the men who have no personality. They go for racist white men. They go for men that are bald. I mean, every single one of these guys is bald. So you have a bald white guy, bald, short, ugly white guy, and a squat, short-legged, big-headed, flat-chested, flat-butt, excuse me, it sounds offensive, Asian woman, and they're convinced that their child is master race. You don't hear anybody else talking about, oh, children are going to be hybrid, big, or master race. When, my husband is completely bald. My husband's head looks like the top of a snow globe. And, and the Asian wife looks like she's made out of furniture. She's an IKEA nightstand. And they pretend, well, we're superior master race. And then so when they see a white woman, a beautiful white woman that they wish they could have or a black woman with big tits, or a Latin woman with a big butt, or a white woman with a good face or whatever with an Asian guy, oftentimes a normal, well-adjusted, handsome Asian guy, they will hate. They're like, well, my children are gonna be better than your children, even though my husband totally bald. My husband looks like Dilbert cartoon. My husband looks like the guy from Dilbert. Okay, and I look like Amy Tan, but I look like somebody hit my face. Somebody hit my face with rolling pin and then run the rolling pin up down my face. That's what they feel like. They feel like, their children are going to be more beautiful, because it is competition. Asian men and Asian women hate each other. Frankly, they do. So the problem is that white men, Asian women, no other race, no Iran, like if it's an Iranian guy and a Nigerian woman, they don't say, oh, my children are going to be hybrid beauty, amazing super children. Even though you have like girls like that girl on Blackish, who's half Iranian, half black, who has an Iranian father and a black mother, right? And she's a superstar, and there are no fucking white man, Asian woman daughters anywhere, or sons anywhere. So they have this whole thing where it's just about the Asian woman wants to escape being Asian. She wants to feel more powerful. She wants to take out her aggression on Asian men, and the white guy hates everybody else except Asian women, who he sees as being an easy sex. And then they create this kind of myth. They create this like safety net. Well, our children are superior master race, just to cover up that it's only white guy, Asian woman. And I swear to God, this is true every single time. So if you're the wife or a girlfriend of an Asian man, white woman couple, stay away from these couples. I'm begging you, do it. Because you love your partner, you love your husband. Your husband to you is a handsome guy. It doesn't matter he's Asian or not. He's a handsome guy. He's a nice guy. He's a friendly guy. He's funny. He makes you laugh. He can draw a cool picture. He can read book well to your children. He knows how to cook. It doesn't matter his race. He's handsome. He has symmetrical features. He has hair. All right, and you're just a girl. You're just a girl who wants a lover. You want a nice lover as a boyfriend, as a husband. You're not going to pretend that your children are going to be superhuman. Your children, the children of Asian men and non-Asian women, are just children. That's what all they are. They're children. But as soon as you put your children in the space of white man, Asian woman, you have the white man's racism. Oh, his kids look more Asian than mine. How could this Asian nerd get her? Wow, that's surprising. Every single white guy, Asian girl couple, the white guy's like, well, that's surprising to see an Asian guy with a whatever girl, and the Asian girl's like, ew, how could she be with him? And then they have a little Elliot Rodger running around. So if you have children and you're an Asian guy, white woman, or non-Asian woman couple, keep your children away from them. Seriously, do it. It will be the best decision you ever made. And if you ever follow these Asian male white women blogs, especially the women that come to live in Japan, Korea, China, all of these women only hang out with Asian men, white women. They don't hang out with white men, Asian women. They don't. They refuse to. Because there's such a huge fundamental difference. And I'm going to make a video about the difference between white men, Asian women, and Asian men, white women. I plan to do it. I'm planning to do some interviews. Okay? So, that's that. That's my advice. Don't be like me. I was told by my white father, Asian mother. I was pushed to believe that I was superior, even though it wasn't true. And I was also pushed to date only Asian women, which also is problematic because so many of them just view me as being, well, you're very better because you're white. You're half white. You're better because, you're better. And then it just turns out when you really look at it from that perspective and your mind changes, you realize that all of it makes sense. The Asian women, they don't seem to care about looks or money or anything. They just only care about whiteness and status. And it's a very unfulfilling relationship in general. So that's what I mean. If you're an Asian guy with a non-Asian woman, or a non-Asian woman with an Asian guy, stay away from the counterpart, your reverse counterparts. It doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. Okay, that's it.